Hello everyone, it's Miss Angela from the Fort Worth Public Library. Welcome back to another Fort Worth Nature Center Discovery Club story time. Today we are talking about predators and prey. I've made up a little song to help us remember what those words mean. It's to the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb. You know that one? I like to write new words to songs I already know. Did you know it's also good practice for learning to read? Because you're playing with rhythm, syllables, and vocabulary. Okay, first up we have predators. And what do predators do? They eat other animals. Some animals are predators, predators, predators. Some animals are predators, they eat other animals. Next up we have prey. What do prey animals do? They run from predators! Some animals are only prey, only prey, only prey. Some animals are only prey, they run from predators. Now, some animals can be both. They eat other animals and they get eaten by other predators. Some animals are predator and prey, predator and prey, predator and prey. Some animals are predator and prey, they eat and they get eaten. Our story for today is a book, and it's about a predator hunting for prey. It's called Hawk Rising, and it's by Maria Gianferrari with pictures by Brian Flocka. Father Hawk stretches wide his wings. You stretch your arms as you wake up. Can you stretch your arms like Father Hawk? Stretch. High in a backyard cedar they sit. Cedar is a type of tree. High from the window you watch. Chicks jostle, screech, beaks open wide, waiting for breakfast. Mother Hawk stays. Father Hawk perch hunts from a pole, silhouetted as sunbeams scratch the sky. Red streaks spread, black talons curving onto wood, hooked beak sharp as a knife, head turning, eyes searching, chicks waiting. You noticing. Look, she has a pair of binoculars for watching the baby hawks. Sunbathing warms Father Hawk's outstretched wings, drying drops of dew. From the pole his sharp eyes spy. Do you know what that is? It's a chipmunk. And to Father Hawk, it looks like prey. He dives, feet first, wings arched, fast to the grass. But Chipmunk scuttles under the neighbor's porch. Look at those talons. Those are definitely a predator's talons. Father Hawk shakes his wings and springs into the sky. Kier, kier, he calls, circling, seeking prey. He rides the wind like a wave, twisting and turning, floating. Chicks waiting, you watching. And there's Father Hawk flying high up above. Caw, caw, caw! Crows charge and chase, darting and diving, driving Father Hawk from their roost. He sails on the current far from the crows and lands on a limb to perch hunt again. Father Hawk's eyes sweep the lawn. Back and forth they scan, greening grass for prey. Sparrows sit and flit in bushes. He leans, then dives. So it looks like sparrows are some more prey for this hawk. Crashing, talons thrashing in branches, once, twice, then again and again, shielded by bramble, sparrows are safe. Father Hawk takes to the sky, riding and gliding. What do you see down below, Father Hawk? There's houses and roads. Maybe you could look up and see a hawk sometime. Shadows casting, chicks waiting, you wondering. Father Hawk lands on a light pole. Dandelions ripple, oaks tremble. Father Hawk perches and searches. Sun sinking, daylight blinking, chicks waiting, you fading. Father Hawk spots a squirrel scurrying toward a tree. He parachutes, legs tipping, talons gripping and grabbing. Oh, look. Father Hawk caught the squirrel. Father Hawk flies in the navy blue sky. Back in the nest he lands. Chicks screech and jostle, beaks wide open. Ah! No longer waiting. You, down on the porch, yawning. Through the night, safe in your nests, you and the hawk family sleep. Until the next day. The end. And this page has a lot of cool facts, and one of them is that this is a red-tailed hawk. Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's time to pass it over to Mr. Michael at the Nature Center to talk more about predators and prey. See you next time.
Good morning, everyone. This is Michael Perez with the Fort Worth Nature Center and Refuge, and we're continuing this month's theme of animal relationships. Last session, we talked about food webs and how everything's kind of connected. You know, we have animals eating animals and eating animals and eating animals. We talked about consumers, producers, decomposers, and all those aspects of the food web. Now, what I like to focus in on a little more targeted and talk about one specific type of relationship that the food web is composed of, and that is predator-prey relationships. So I have several skulls here that I would like to show you and to talk to you a little bit about predator-prey relationships. Now, there are a couple of things I want to talk about as far as terms and vocabulary before we actually get started in talking about a predator-prey relationship. So first of all, what is a predator? You hear the word predator, you think of animals. What is a predator? Yeah, if you said it's an animal that's hunting, that's a really good definition. So a predator is an animal that goes out and is hunting for food. Now, prey is what it's hunting for. The prey species is what is being hunted. It's being consumed by the predator. So that's the predator-prey relationship that is entangled in that food web and how things are connected. Where, as we did with the cups last time, and we talked about the different interactions. Well, that's the two players in the game, if you will, the predators and the prey. Now, there are different types of predators, different types of prey as well. So let's go over a couple of terms. Now, when we talk about predators, you can look at an animal, say a skull. Here's a skull of a beaver. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. But you can look at a skull on an animal and look at their teeth, and it gives you an idea and indicates what type of food it likes to eat. For example, you have animals like this with these sharp canines. See those sharp canine teeth right there? Typically, you see an animal with all those teeth like that, jagged and pointed. It's going to indicate that that is a carnivore. And a carnivore is an animal that likes to eat meat. Okay, so carnivores, they are one of the predators out there. We also have animals that are omnivores. So carnivores that like to eat meat. Well, let me back up. Let's talk about herbivores. Herbivores are another animal. And you look at their teeth, they don't have those jagged pointy teeth. They have these flat grinding teeth. Cows have them, deer. This beaver does too. Beavers they can eat aquatic vegetation. Of course, they eat the outer part of trees as well. So they have these flat grinding teeth. Herbivores, you're eating grass. You think about deer and cattle and so forth. So those teeth just grind over each other to cut up that grass. So we have carnivores, we have herbivores, and I've already mentioned it. I let the cat out of the bag with the third group, which is omnivores. And omnivores are in the middle, okay? So they do have some, some omnivores have the pointy canines, but they also have some flattened teeth, also some jagged teeth, a little bit of both. And omnivores are really special because they can eat meat and the plants. Omnivores are like my son. My son, he can eat plants, or, well, he doesn't eat plants, but he eat vegetables, and then he'll eat meat, doesn't matter. And then others, I'm not going to mention names, me too in particular, little more picky about what they eat. But omnivores are going to do really well because if there's no meat around, they can eat plants. If there's no plants around, they can eat meat, and they get it all on both ends of it, so meat and plants. So, talking about predator-prey relationships, we talk about a predator being an animal that's hunting, and a prey species is a species that's being hunted. So we talked about the predator-prey relationships, what they are, and how they are entangled in that food web, because we talked about that last week. We talked about three terms of animals, particularly two predators, the omnivore and the carnivore, and then the prey species, which is the herbivore. So let's talk a little bit about how each of these animals, how you can tell if they are predator-prey besides the teeth. There are some other ways that you can tell. Now, most likely, if it is a predator, their eyes, the orbits, that's called the orbits. Can y'all say orbits? All right. These orbits are where their eyes go, typically are facing forward. And I forgot to bring it anyway. But they're facing forward, and this allows them to see really well. If any of you have looked through binoculars, I meant to bring my binoculars. I'm usually always wearing them. That's called binocular vision. Okay, you got binoculars, and what happens is you get all your sight in one area. Okay, in one area, and everything's so focused in there and clear. It allows an animal that has binocular vision, like you and me, the coyote. This is a coyote. Has that binocular vision, focusing on object, and it can allow for a really good depth perception, meaning it can tell how far an item is, or not an item, but a prey species is. So the eyes are really, really important to help them to find the food. And not to mention they're pretty agile and fast as well because of their claws and they're digging and so forth. Another thing that's very important for a predator, and I would say a prey species too, but mainly a predator, are the nasal turbines. Okay, here in the nasal passages, let me go a little closer. You kind of see like some wrinkly, crackly little material in their nose. And those are called nasal turbines, and that allows them, it indicates how well they can smell, how good of a sense of smell they have. The more nasal turbines they have, the deeper it goes, the easier it is for them to smell things around them. So not only can they but focus in on objects, can tell the depth perception, how far something is, but they can also smell things. Okay, as a predator, that's very important. And then lastly, and this is true about prey species as well, they have to have this ability as well. But if you look right here, you see the skull. Here's the top of the skull. Took the bottom part off. You imagine the eyes go here. Little Three Stooges there for the adults there. Their ears, you can see right there. They're openings for the ears. And these items, little objects here, are called Auditory Bully. Can you say Auditory Bully? Tough word, right? So the Auditory Bully, these little bumps here, the larger they are in proportion to the size of their skull, indicate how well they can hear. So the larger they are, the better hearing they have. So a predator wants to have large auditory bullies so it can hear. And with the binocular vision, the eyes on the front of their head so they can see really well and focused in front of them, as well as judging distances. And they want to have really good sense of smell with those nasal turbines. So a really good predator has really good hearing, really good eyesight and can smell things around them. So then they can hide and then stalk their prey and then attack their prey. So a coyote can be considered an omnivore as well. That's what makes it so special, in the sense that you can find these all over the United States because they have adapted to eating meat and eating plants as it needs to, and so forth. All right, so that's a predator. Okay, here's another predator we have. This one pretty much is a carnivore. You look at all those teeth there. Those are all pointy peg-like teeth. Alligators are one of the, if not the top predator in a river system around here. I don't have to worry about hippopotamuses around here. But alligators are the top predator, and they have the same advantages or use the same types of strategies and their adaptations to find their food. Not only do they have powerful jaws to crunch down on their food, they have sharp teeth, but they can put their whole body underwater and still, their eyes still are in front of you. See, predator, look. It sounds like a duck, right? But it's not. So you can see their eyes are forward, they can still see, all right? But not only that, they're on top of their head, so you can put their body underwater, poke their nose up out of the water so they can breathe, eyes so they can see, and they can hide and camouflage themselves in the water so they can really quickly attack their prey species, which is fish, ducks and birds on the water, beaver, turtles, snakes, and things like that. So that is a predator. Another predator we don't think much about are these animals here. These are, no, I'm not Pinocchio, I'm not lying. These animals here are called, this is a heron, great blue heron. I was about to say egret. Great blue heron. And they're predatory birds too, because they have this long spear-like bill. So they have a long neck, okay? Generates a lot of power and energy. So when they dive down, not dive down, but get in the water, they can spear their fish, which is one of their favorite foods. I also see them eat turtles, snakes, and things like that. So they are predators. Now, predators can become prey. That's right. Predators like this alligator can be prey. This can be prey for something larger. Okay, so this great blue heron is a predatory bird. He's eating all the fish and eating those turtles, and then here comes Mr. Alligator. I gotta get out of here. So don't think just because I just say, oh, that's a predator, that's it. No, they could be prey species as well. So I showed you some predators we have around our area, the skulls at least, the coyotes, the alligators, the great blue herons. And now let's talk about some of the prey species. We do have prey species like the beaver. Beaver is susceptible to be prey to an alligator. Okay, sorry. He's susceptible to being a prey species to alligators as well. But you notice the teeth, very flat. Okay, so their eyes, a little different. It looks like they're all looking forward, but they're actually kind of on the side. Best example of a prey species will be a deer. Let's look at the deer. So deer, if you notice, ooh, that sits right on my neck. This is perfect. Okay, so the deer, we talk about predators, their eyes are in the front. Okay, well, that gives them all that vision in the front of them. Well, deer and other prey species, their eyes or orbits are on the side. Well, how is that helpful for a prey species? Well, it gives them better vision. Now, sure, they don't have that depth perception like the predators do, judging distances and getting all that the focused vision in one area. But that's to their advantage because right here they can see 180 degrees, which is, if you were to see all the way around, a full circle is 360 degrees. That may not mean much to you right now, but it will. 360 degrees, they can see all the way around. It's a circle, okay? Half of that is 180. So over here, because their eyes are facing this one, they can see 180, and then roughly around 180 over here. So almost they can see a full circle. Not quite, because they still got little gaps that they can't see. But as a prey species, as you're eating, grazing on grass, and you have a predator coming from different directions, hiding from you, you can put your head down and eat and still see all the way around you. Okay, that's why when a fly comes by, it's hard to swat it because their eyes are so big, they can see all the way around almost. and they can fly really fast as soon as you're coming to swat it. Well, same thing with deer. If a predator comes, there's a plane flying ahead. A predator comes, it sees all the way around. Another advantage that prey species have, such as deer, and all the animals that eating grass and so forth, they have multiple stomachs, so they can grab food, and then go off somewhere else in a safe place, and then they start chewing. You heard chewing on the cud. They chew on it, digest it some more. So that's one of the advantages they have to predators and not being seen by predators, is they can eat, get some food, and then move off. What else did we talk about? Oh yeah, and they do have the sense of smell as well. You can see those nasal turbines, so they can smell just as well. And they have the auditory bully as well. There's one right there, and then that one's a little broken right there. So they too have to have a good sense of smell, good hearing, so they can hear those predators, see those predators, and smell those predators, so they don't become prey species. So that's a little bit about predator-prey relationships. And we talked about the food web last week, and we talked about how everything's kind of connected. Well, one of the main interactions or connections is the predator-prey relationships. We talked about what a predator is, and what was that? Yeah, an animal that hunts, and a prey is the hunted. Now, not all predators are predators all the time. They do become prey species every once in a while, like we said. We talked about 3 different types of animals. We talked about carnivores. They eat meat. Omnivores eat meat and plants, and those are typically your predators. And then you have herbivores who are eating plant material, and those are typically your prey species. We talked about some of the adaptations that these animals have, such as the sense of smell. Sorry, another plane's coming. There it goes. There it goes. All right, it's gone. No, I'm just kidding. It's gone. So we talked about that has those ability to smell, ability to see, and ability to hear. And we talked about predators. Their eyes are looking forward, so they can judge distances and focus on things. And prey, wow, planes are really going today. I picked the wrong time. And then we talked about prey species. Their eyes are on the side. All right, it's gone. So they can see all the way around them pretty much. So they can see those predators coming on them, okay? So a lot of things to talk about when it comes to predator and prey relationships. It's not just hunting and being hunted. You have to use a lot of your adaptations and resources and abilities to be able to survive in the wild. And certainly our prey species have those adaptations to survive, as well as predator species having those adaptations to survive by hunting. So that concludes our Discovery Club and our Discovery Club for the month of May. We talk about food webs and predator-prey relationships. Next month, I'm sad to say, is going to be our last virtual Discovery Club that we'll have. We'll have 2 sessions, but it is going to be our last month because we're going to start doing things in person. Okay, we're going to slowly start bringing you preschoolers back into the Nature Center and interact with us face to face. So be prepared for that. That should be starting, I believe, actually in the month of June. So we're going to kind of do both of them in the month of June. So be in communication for that. We'll go to our website and you'll see all that information. All right, guys, thanks again for tuning in to Discovery Club. I really appreciate your support. Hope you learned something, relearned something, and I will encourage y'all to get outside and discover nature for yourself and just see what this great world around us, green spaces around us, parks around us have to offer you. So have a great day, and we'll catch y'all next month, guys. Bye-bye.